All right. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I feel like I've been quiet over here. Not quiet in general, though. I've had a lot going on. I'm up in Studio B, and ArcaneCon starts today. I don't think I'm going to go over there today. I didn't sign up to plan any games, and I figure I'll be there all day tomorrow. So, but we'll see. It's about an hour's drive each way from where I am. So it's not super far away, but it's not super close. And I don't necessarily mind the driving, but I drove 3.5 hours to get here yesterday, um, and now I'm thinking about, well, I can kind of relax a little bit and sort of prep my game, or I can run out to the con, hang out, come back. We'll see. It doesn't start. I don't think it starts until this afternoon, technically. So we'll see. I think I'll have plenty of time tomorrow. I don't know. Like it's. I know they've grown it a lot from last year. So last year was the first year of ArcaneCon. It was great. Really enjoyed the experience, and I know that they wanted to kind of push it and grow it out. I think they're in the same space as far as I know, which is a cool church. Actually, had really good acoustics, which I appreciate. And my game is first thing Saturday, so I'm in that first slot, which I think is 9 to 12 or 11. I think 12. I think they're doing 4-hour, or would that be 3-hour slots? Yes, 3-hour slots. So I think it's 9 to 12. In any case, one of the things I mentioned mostly on the other channel, because I really haven't had a chance to do it here, is I wanted to make a little addendum, not an addendum. I wanted to make a kind of not exactly a prologue, though it's kind of a prologue. I wanted to add an initial bit to the adventure. So when I ran this at ShareCon, I thought it went well. The feedback I got was positive, and it felt good doing it, which is about all I can say. But I felt that it ran a little short, and I'd rather it run short and everybody have a good time and kind of get through everything, or at least make it to the end and have some kind of conclusion, than we get 2/3 of the way through or 3/4 of the way through, and it's like, oh, you're in a corridor, and it just doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel like you're getting a moment. It's like, oh, it's a corridor, but yeah, that's it. Goodbye, because you got to go. But I did feel like, man, I could have maybe used a little bit more. Now there are many ways you can add more. This adventure, it's an investigation. There's not a lot of combat in it. It is not combat focused. Certainly you can get into combat if you want. And the other group, when I ran it, they got into, I think, just one combat. Well, two, I guess. If you count the end, the climax, they got into a little bit, but it was really one combat, which is fine. And they could have had more combats. They could have also done less. They had maybe one close call with a bear, but that ended up not requiring combat. In any case, right? So this is not really about a combat adventure, but I thought what I could do with this prologue piece, if you will, intro piece, is kind of let people sort of get it. So, I'm playing this is a new system for people. I think it's very easy. I haven't had a hard time teaching it. It doesn't take a lot to teach, and I think people get it pretty quickly, but it's a new system a little bit. And I thought, and it's not really the system part piece, really. It's more that, okay, I want to get, maybe how can I help people get into the mode of the investigation? Maybe I can introduce some themes in sort of a low stakes way before things kind of kick off, more or less. And then maybe it will make, when things kick off, maybe it'll add a little bit to that. I'm not sure. It may even be unnecessary, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it anyway. So it's a really simple scenario, because this isn't meant, it's a little intro. It's a 3-hour piece. There's one kind of dungeon. It's really a puzzle dungeon, but the puzzles are extremely easy. Sort of a puzzle dungeon at the end, and then it's really locations, talking to people and doing some things like that. So this is going to follow in that vein. And I guess maybe should I go through, hold on a minute. Let me see. Should I Actually, it's in the other window. Would have been a better window to open. Let me go through. This will help. Let me see, which is the newest version. This one? Okay. Let's go through this first. It's always good to give things a run through, and this will let me kind of gather my thoughts a skosh a bit. So what we have here, I'm just rotating my phone around, just in case somebody needs to get a hold of me. Okay. So what we've got is a hex map. This is really, it's kind of overkill, to be quite honest, simply because there's really there's three locations that are important, that are really involved here. This village here of Buford, the Priory of Bordley over here, and then the pyramid where you're kind of the end of the adventure is over here. And I do have a player map. I got to dig it out or print another one. I have it where it kind of, this stuff's kind of, I blank it out. So they kind of, I feel, I just think if I look at this map and I'm like, where's the adventurers? Like, where's the skull and crossbones? That's where you go. So I kind of blanked that out. In any case, so the rest of this is just here. It's flavor. If I end up, I'll probably put this out. It's more stuff. If you want to base more adventures here, you can. It's kind of background, but we're really talking about this spot here. And you do go into this hex kind of also. So there's almost like this triangle is your initial sort of venturing area, and then eventually you make your way here. Hopefully, it worked out the first time. We'll see how it goes in the second time. It worked out the first time. But it's I'll just kind of get into it. And I don't really love this layout. I'm probably going to change it, but this is what I've got so far. So I'm going to kind of skip over the notable figures. Got that, and we got some. If we do have some sort of, this is just kind of some regional stuff. If you end up kind of sticking around, so here's the sort of the hook as it stands now. First, there were strange lights in the sky. Last night, a falling star fell over the wastes to the east. Yesterday, 3 acolytes from the Prior of Bordley became deranged. This morning, one of them has spellbound the children of Buford and led them into the hills. A call has been raised for some brave souls to bring this fugitive to face justice. That's the backdrop. I go back and forth with actually whether I want to be 3 or 1. Because the other 2 don't enter into it. It's like the Blue Wizards of Lord of the Rings. What happened to the Blue Wizards? I don't know. It's kind of just the 1. But I had these ideas that I've been messing around with whether I want to have the other 2 doing anything, or kind of are they helping out? It's a little bit of an excuse if it comes up as to why certain things have happened. It's like, oh, there were two other ones that went deranged. And there is a I have a concept for how this prologue thing I'm doing might I guess, what's the word, hook into this idea of the 3. We'll get into that. So in any case, the original entry is you're at the castle, you get the job, and I'm not going to role play out the getting of the job. I've mentioned this before. Just, I guess it would be, I don't have a lot of advice type stuff about this other than just, hey, just run games and you'll kind of get the hang of it. But one thing I think for sure is don't play out the getting of the job. If this is either a kind of campaign starter thing, or certainly if it's a one shot, kind of wherever you're running it, don't do the whole thing. It's just, you're asking for trouble, you're asking for dithering, you're asking for distraction, essentially. Because all that's going to happen is if you present it as a scene of you're before the king and the king says, will you take up this quest? Well, one, what do you do when somebody says no? Not feeling it, and it, and you think like, well, who's going to say no? But people, I've talked about, in some of my other con reports, I've seen people just decide to just get goofy for whatever reason when given the quest. Okay, that's that's like, no. Or they'll start bargaining. The other thing is like, well, how much you offering? Oh, king, how much you offering us? 50 gold apiece. That's not enough. 75, 200. It's like, it's one, I suppose as a gym, you can just go fine because it doesn't matter. And this is, I've seen this firsthand. It's a one shot. You're never going to get a chance to spend that gold. It could be 1 billion gold. It could be, I'm going to give you my kingdom if only you do this thing. It doesn't matter because the one shot is doing the thing. And when you've done the thing, it's over. So why are you haggling about the money or some other detail or something else or this or that? It literally means nothing in the context of adventure, but you will still find people who will just drag the game off in that mode of, I have to decide. It's like that. If you have everybody meet, you're going to have people who are just like, I don't know if I know him. I'm not going to tell them stuff. I'm going to keep it. Like, why are you doing that? Right. So just start them on the mission. So the idea here is the call has been sent out and you have answered it and you are. In fact, I think the last time I ran it, which I'll probably do tomorrow as well, is you work for the king. You've been assigned this task by your king to do. There's not even like a bargaining thing. It's like you're on. And I think what I think you can do is what I did before is I said, okay, here's the job. You're on the job. And in my game, I open it up because basically I guess I'll read this here. What is known, right? You know that in the village of Buford, Alfbert, who was an adept from the priory, did something with the kids and led them away into the hills. And so I essentially give you the 3 locations. And I went back to the map, which I will just zoom back up to. Oh, excuse me. I'm like, hey, so you're starting over here, and essentially you can go here, you can go here, you got these 3 locations. The kids are somewhere in here. You think the village is over here, and this is where the acolyte came from. So where are you going? And then I said to them, hey, if there's some piece of information I didn't give you, you want to have asked a question, essentially saying like, I'm not going to roll back to getting the job, but if there's a question you would have had, just ask it and we'll assume that you asked it back then. Kind of like, hey, if there's anything that we didn't talk about when you took the job, you could have asked it, but I'm not playing out that thing. But if there's anything you thought you would have asked, then we'll assume you asked it. Or, if you wanted to, we can have a little flashback to when you said, hey, what's the weather like over there? Or is it cold or whatever? And you say, oh, I don't know. That wouldn't need to be asked of them, but something else. What do you know about Alfbert the acolyte? Like, well, they didn't know too much. He was a quiet boy. He seemed to be doing his duties, whatever. It's like, okay, whatever you want to ask that. And then, I just start with whatever kind of kit your character comes with. That's what you got. And you're on the road. And I think that's just, for these kinds of games, it just takes away a point of friction. The taking on of the job is a point of friction. I want to get rid of that point of friction. So that's where I was starting before. Is, hey, you're off to do one of those 3 spots. Now, in this case, how this would shift things only a bit is you would go off to investigate this thing, which essentially would be in the hex of Oxwine Castle, which is where you start anyway. You start in that anyway, but you've been going to do this little thing. And then on your way back from having dealt with that thing, then this new thing, which would be called the main adventure, would come. So that's kind of where this sits. And the themes of this is deception, sort of a big theme of this. I don't know if I really pay it off enough, but and I should probably do more. Think about how I can inject, not just in the situations, but the kind of like, there's there's a demon that's around here, and I think I had them be in. They are hold on, notable figures. I don't think I have. Maybe he's all in. Maybe I only have him at the end. I hate those hanging chads. I'll have to. No, let's see. There's the pyramid map. You fill Asherot. What did I say about here? I think he was like, I want to say that he was a. I know I put somewhere who he was. Yeah, they. Right. So I want to say that my idea was he was like a demon of lies and whatnot and trickery. But I have to say, I don't think I've really. I haven't embedded it as much as I could. And one thing that I can do. Oh, I got some formatting I need to fix. I know right now this is only for me, but still. One thing I need to do is I think I want to pay off, or not pay off, kind of set up some of that. I'm just trying to see if I say anywhere. I'm pretty sure I meant that I had mentioned the. Oh no, I guess that is the formatting of that. I think I like it better bolded or something. Yeah, I'll have to muck. I might muck around with it. I don't know. I have a printout here too. I can look at this to see how it looks printed, but I feel like I want to bold it. Okay, so essentially that's it. So now we got this. Whoops. We got some themes. Okay. All right. Cool. Why do I have it twice? Did I do something else here? Whoops. Maybe I just named it twice. Okay. Back here. So themes of deception, kind of the big one. The story, the main thing is essentially is there's the local religion has sort of deified, made a saint, basically this Witchred, who was a wizard, a magic user, sorcerer, who fought amongst really an adventurer type, right? And there was some war against this demon Asheroth, and they won the war. But the problem that the heroes foresaw at the end of this conflict, which only very few survived, but including Witchred, was that, and I've left some of this very vague, which I think is fine, because this is kind of, if you were to take this, you can insert whatever you want. But basically, whatever the demon was after didn't get, right? And whatever that was, I don't mention. Maybe it's been lost to time what exactly the demon was after. But whatever they were getting, just try to adjust the heat here. I have a heated. What is going on? Hi. All right. Need more heat. Whatever the demon was after. Oh, and this is some coffee for the working man. Whatever the demon was after, they didn't get. But the heroes perceived a problem. And the problem is the demon is essentially inhabiting a body, right? It's taken over a body. And that's its mortal form. That's why it's up here. Because normally the demons can't be up here. But they can be if somehow it gets to a point where it can. And I have it kind of set up. The way it works here is sort of vampirically, in the sense that it has to be invited. It can't just take over. It's not like the demon just goes, it has to. You have to allow it into you, and then it can take over. So the demon's taken over. So the demon is in this body. Okay, lost the war. Now they have this demon who's inside this mortal coil. And they realize that they can't destroy the demon. They're not strong enough. They don't have the means, the method. Maybe they don't even know how. Maybe it's not even possible to destroy utterly this demon. And they think about, well, if we just kill its mortal form, yes, we've removed the demon from play, but it's whatever it is it's after, which I don't establish, it's still out there. It's gonna come back again. The assumption is, well, it still wants this thing. We're kind of kicking the can down the road. a little bit. I mean, maybe, and obviously that's kind of inevitable to kick the can down the road. Got to kick the can down the road. But what if we could trap it in a form that was stronger? It was more able to, because these, the way I think of it in my brain, though, it's kind of implied, it's not made explicit anywhere, is that, demons, like, it's a torch inside a candle, right? If you're a candle and you're just this little flame, it's the demon's too strong. It's gonna burn through you, right? It just, your form isn't, just especially a normal person, their form isn't strong enough to hold this thing for very long. It's gonna kind of burn. It's gonna burn out at some point. Well, how can they extend it? So they think about, it's like, well, we can't. We send the demon home. He's just gonna start going again, and who knows if it'll be a long time or short time till it comes back. But if we can trap it here for a longer period of time, then that would maybe enable us to do the thing we need to do to get rid of the demon entirely. Like, maybe there is a way to do it. Maybe we can find out whatever he's seeking and get rid of it, or do, there's all kinds of things we can do. We need time. And the longer we can keep the demon trapped here, then the longer we're stopping the clock from starting on attempt number 2. So if we think about, okay, this is attempt number 1. Hey, Croco, it is an early stream. I'm going to stream on the main channel later, so I figure I'll try to get this out of there. Hey, Ian. So the idea here is, if we trap the demon here in a body, we can keep the demon here, and that will delay the clock starting on the demon going back and gathering more, whatever, and maybe a better plan and coming, and hey, we've lost all these people, and we're not in good spots. So who knows how long it'll take the demon to do its thing, but if it does in a short time. So bottom line is, St. Witchred sacrifices himself to become a host for the demon, to trap it there, because being an adventurer, being, a high level sorcerer, his body can hold on longer, and they trap the demon. That's kind of how things end. But over time, the survivors, rather than keeping the real story of what's going on and keeping that forward, they hide it. And I don't know if I'm really certain why they decide to do that. Maybe they feel like people can't do it. Maybe they hide it. But when they're doing that, they're starting to, unknowingly, they weaken the things that are kind of holding the demon here, and they're making it easier for the demon to come out. And so at the point of the adventure is that the demon is starting to send out the seals that are trapping it in the place are weakened enough that it can kind of start to send out its tendrils, and it's reaching out and it hits that acolyte, and that acolyte decides to go off. So what this prologue is, there's the theme of deception, right? Not for, maybe for the right reasons, certainly for reasons that could be defensible in a way if you didn't know the outcome, is this religious sect, this religious group, they lied. They started lying about what was going on, and lying, this deception leading to whatever things. So then with this prologue, I want to have a similar theme of a lie that sort of comes back in a way, or just sort of the lies. But I don't know. I think I have kind of a nice idea for this. This could be a 5-second, like, I don't know even how long this could take. But I want to have this theme of sort of a sort of a deception, there's a kind of an evil act, a deception, and sort of there's a thing for the party to do. It's not a big thing. There's no stakes, are going to be very small, but it's a thing for the party to do. So you can see on this page I have here, as I'm finally now getting around to it, I got one name. I need to come up with some names, which always is a fun adventure for me. I got to come up with some names, and then over here I've just written, I'm going to change this header, but the idea here is, so the party is going to be sent out. There is, in the environs of the castle where they are, there is some farmsteads kind of around, and there was a fire at one of the farmsteads that drew somebody over, and they're kind of investigating. They're investigating, or sorry, there was a fire. I think I'm gonna have someone from the local kind of friar, or I don't know if priest of the area, goes to kind of check it out, right? Because it's just what you do. It's like, oh my gosh, this thing's on fire. Let me go see. And they're gonna find that a childless couple are there, and the wife's okay, but the man is dead. But they're going to go up to kind of do like a little last ministrations. My assumption here is that this person, this who I have right now, is a friar. Maybe that'll change, but they have a little medical skill. They're going to check it out, but they're going to notice that what killed this guy wasn't the fire. They're not badly burned. They're not going to have burns all over them. They're not going to have whatever. It's going to be like really a bad, like a real bad kind of gash. I don't know if I was going to have like bite marks, or it's just going to be like really bad, kind of like, claw, maybe both. It's going to have this kind of really bad wound, but a wound that is absolutely, obviously not aligned with, oh my gosh, they died in a fire. And then this is before the party comes up. Then the wife is going to be kind of not, it's going to be clear that she didn't do it. She doesn't have gore coming out of her mouth. She doesn't have, flesh and stuff on the claws, but she's also not being, I guess, or she's acting a little bit weird. Something's going on. Something's not quite right. So he decides, okay, I'm going to go get help. All right. The fire's not spreading. That part's kind of solved. It's kind of, it's whatever. Okay, fine. And let me go get some help. So he makes an excuse to leave, and then he comes down to talk, to get somebody. And the king in the party is, well, the king sends you suss out, find out what's going on. Like what's happening here? Render aid, with what you can. So the game's going to start with basically the friar kind of giving you this little prologue, the prologue to the prologue of, here's a little exposition of, okay, this is why I came and I saw this, and somebody isn't quite right with me, but something's off. I just don't know what. And I came to get you, and now it's maybe in the, like, say, the yesterday evening, and now it's in the morning or what, the next day, and can you help me? Can we sort this out? I'm not sure. So they're going to show up at this farmstead. They're going to see the burnt out, what's left of the main house, which is sort of burnt to a degree. And I don't know. This is one of those things too. Like the reason why it's burnt is I needed a reason for somebody to come check it out. Like if things had happened and there was no, I could just have like the guy just showing up, hey neighbor, and then sees something horrible's happened. That's another thing to do. But I don't know. I thought maybe there's a struggle of some sort and something got knocked over and the fire started. The fire is kind of the way to kind of kick things off a little bit. In any case, and the party's going to get there, and the situation's going to be, they're going to see that there's a guy who's been he's laying out there, is clearly dead, clearly not from smoke or inhalation or burning, and it's going to have, obviously poor wounds. The wife is going to look pretty much unharmed. She's just there. And they're going to have a little barn, or either a barn or a granary, something small, I think grand, but it's going to be barred shut. And I don't know if that will alarm you, because it's not meant to be alarming. It's, well, as I guess we'll get through it. So the party shows up. They have the guy, the wounds, whatever. Now, this is where the investigation part's going to kick in. All right. So the party's task is just to figure out what's going on, to some degree, to someone's satisfaction, presumably their own, that they can then pass off to the king or their reps, is to kind of like, well, what happened here? This is unusual. And we know that weird things have been going on, because there's been this the kind of weird cosmological events. So everybody's a little bit on edge. Everybody's a little bit not feeling great. So this is kind of another. It could just be a tragic accident, but it's kind of what the mission is. Go check it out. Maybe it's an accident. Maybe it's not. So let's just kind of go make sure everything's on the up and up, so to speak. So they're going to get there, and they're going to see the body, see the lady. And then in the backdrop, there is, the animal pen that they're going to have, just some pigs, maybe. Maybe there'll be a sheep or two grazing around, maybe a little garden area that they're tending, in addition to whatever fields they have, and then their kind of house that's kind of burnt out. It's not completely burnt like an inferno, but it's, all the stuff is like, it's, thatch roof and wood beams. So it's pretty easy. Something catches a light if it's not wet, and there's something going on to, for some kind of fire to happen, which seemed like happen. And then you have the woman's there who seems a little bit in shock, and you have a dead body. So kind of, what do you do, right? What do you do? The body is definitely, and what you can see is that the body cause of death does not match fire. So, but it doesn't look like it's obvious that the woman did it, because if they ask to look at her hands or anything like that, there's nothing to indicate that she bit into the guy or clawed off, his whatever. And that's kind of the situation. So what do you do? Now, where the deception part comes in, and I'm still kind of hashing this out. I'm not sure exactly who did what, but basically the woman was married to, and I was going to have, so here's where I'm sort of still figuring things out a bit. There was in the barn is essentially a ghoul, and or something similar to that. Not necessarily exactly a ghoul. I don't know if it'll have the paralyzing touch kind of thing, but basically a ghoul. But it's not just a ghoul. What it is the woman was married to man A, and then for reasons I haven't altogether decided upon yet, and this is something we can workshop, either she killed man A and married his brother, man B, who was dead, or man B killed man A and married her. In either event, the death of man A they lied about it. They said something about him either going off in the woods or something happening, and he, vanishing. Right? That's the truth. So in this granary or barn is that guy, as now as an undead revenant, maybe is a better term, and he's doing his, he got, vengeance on the man who replaced him. But the lady who either did the killing or was somehow complicit, she's not innocent. Like, I think that's the thing I want to avoid. It's not that one of the guys bumped off the other guys and she didn't know, and no, like, she's complicit in it. She knows she was in it, and in what she did, right? But whether she did the actual killing or not, I don't know. And I was also thinking about, could there be something, because I'd like, if I can think about a way for it to not feel too contrived, is if they do end up opening the barn and still see that there's still some evidence, there's going to be evidence of how this guy was killed. And I don't know if it would be too cliche and over the top to have, like, yeah, there's a axe in his back. But I was also thinking, well, they might think that just happened the day before. Like, I'm not sure how to communicate it. Maybe I just don't. I think maybe it's just, you just don't. He's just there. But she is now despairing. So she is not, and maybe she's just in kind of grief. Also, this idea that, like, she's been caught out. Like, they did this thing, they were living this secret, and then something to do with whatever's been going on, the secret was uncomfortably revealed in a very violent way. And that, like, this body shouldn't be there. And there's going to be, if they start to explore, they'll see, they can find a part where there's some tracks that come from a grave that's very, very close by, like a grave that was clearly where the guy was done in, or where he was buried. So there's the situation. It's not hard to suss out, right? I don't think it shouldn't, to me, in my mind, my brain says, the first things parties do, right? They show up a situation. Okay, they're going to question the woman, and she'll be sort of not really communicative. I was thinking, like, well, will she? I was thinking about, well, why did they do this, right? I was trying to think about, well, what was the ultimate reason? Was it? I thought maybe it could have been like she just was unhappy. Like, it could be just a complicated situation. Like, she was not happy. She loved the brother, but this thing happened. She was forced to do it. Whatever, right? That could be it. I thought, well, maybe it's they don't have kids. I had this idea that, well, they're childless. So is it because they couldn't have kids, and maybe they blamed each other and finally decided, she's like, I don't know, like, the brother, whatever, like, oh, I'm not gonna have kids, but then it ends up like there's kind of a sad irony there, or not, irony is not the right word, but a sad thing of, like, well, we couldn't have kids, he blamed me, I blamed him, so I got rid of him, and with the brother, and we still didn't have any kids. Not saying it's her fault necessarily. Maybe that would be the it could just be that those guys they didn't have it in them or whatever, just bad luck. It could be kind of a love thing. Maybe it was a jealousy thing. Whatever. I should probably figure out at least some kind of, at least a theme that I can write down for myself, so that when they're questioning, because I want to have her in a state where she's not, it's sort of beyond, she's not even thinking about saving herself. She's just in kind of this she's in a horrible place as a person. And one of the ways this could end, and I have in my brain whether work out that way, she goes into the barn to basically embrace the revenant or ghoul, and just like she's done. And she might be done regardless of what happens. She might, I might insinuate that she's not gonna, she's not gonna hang around. She's not gonna run. She's not gonna give herself over to be judged. She's gonna bail on life, kind of thing. And then it's really, it's part of me is just like, well, this is going to kind of see how the party can kind of get into this investigative mode. They can find a small mystery, this theme of deception, and the deception come back to get you. This is a microcosm, but it's similar to what's happening in the macrocosm, which is that this religious order lied, and their lies led to their lies coming back to get them. So here's the microcosm here, which thematically matches the macrocosm, kind of thing. And there's also a bit of like family stuff, because the acolyte finds a boy, and the boy, they caught, it was funny too. The group, when I ran this the first time, they I'm not super subtle with it, but I don't out and out say it, that the boy came from essentially an abusive home, and like they snapped onto that abusive home bit, like, because I just had the dad kind of act like pretty much like a jerk, and they were kind of like, okay, and that was like why that kid the demon thought this kid would be ripe for his mischief, would be this fact that he comes from this sort of broken home, if you will. So that kind of theme of the broken family sort of will come out too. But I think it'll be fun. I think it's a little bit different. I don't know if is it too different. Does this, are people going to be signing up for a fantasy adventure game, and they're getting crime scene investigations and sad families and whatnot? I don't know. But I think it's a fun little crime scene investigation, because really it's just kind of like you're there and like, well, what do you do? And if they want to, and here's the thing too, is they get to I guess what I feel like is, anyway, some of the wrinkles of it are, what do they do? How much they suss out, and then what do they do with the information they suss out? Because they could decide the woman suffered enough, we're not going to mention it. We're going to let her go. We're just going to say it was a fire, like another kind of little deception, which could be interesting to play with. Like, do they do that? Do they take the woman in irons and take her back and say, well, I don't care. We don't care if you don't want to have the king's justice, you're getting it, kind of thing. There's some interesting, I think there could be some interesting interactions with whatever's going on. And then whatever they're doing, when they're on the way back to deliver their report, someone will meet them on the road saying, oh, it's just coming to get you. Tell me what I need to tell the king, and you guys go off and go to this village, because something bigger, something else has gone down. So what it does is it does give you a little bit of the adventure, a little bit more of an escalation. So you go from this homestead to the village, then to so you go beep, 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 a little bit. I don't know. I might just talk. I mean, I've already talked myself into it, so I guess I don't need to talk myself any further, but I don't know if that's the meaning. So I'm just, I just got to kind of figure out. All right. So I need names. First of all, I need names for the kind of the main, I don't know what to call them. What do you call a lady, but she's just was there a term for that? I don't know if there's like a, because she's not a lady. Mistress? Yeah, not mistress necessarily. That seems too high. Let's see, there's a history when mistress went Mrs. and Miss meant prostitute. Okay. I don't know. We don't know. Okay. I'll pull this. Let's go see what we got here. So I've been leaning on a lot of Old English lately. I don't know if this will be not nobility, just free. No, good wife. I thought about good wife and goody, but I thought that goody always seems to me that I always think about like the Salem witch trials, like the little bit. Okay, so yeah, so it did. So it was 1325. Okay, that's close enough for me. Unless there's an Old English term for good wife. Is there an even older one? Good wife. Oh yeah. Okay. I don't know if they just did that. This is DuckDuckGo's search assistant. Essentially, it's an AI tool. Good wife. Good weave. Good wife. All right, I'm good with good wife. That is fine for me. Ducks sure go. Yeah, they do. All right, so whoops. All right, good wife. And now I need a name. Now I need a name. All right, let me go back to the window that you guys can actually see. Okay, so that's solved. Let's get some names. Yeah, I know those, but I'm looking for. I hate that you get all these baby names. I don't want baby names. I just want. Well, let's see what this one does. Okay. Hild, right? Like Brunhilde, and got that. Yeah, Wolfhild, Modwena, Mudwena. I think I'd like something a little bit less. Ugh, did I go to images? I did. Why did I go to images? I didn't want to go to images. Windflad or Windflad, or sorry, it's Runeflad. What's Regia? Let's see how these. Alta, Abba. Yeah, I don't want Latin. Alflet. Elf Give, Elf Giu, Elveva. I can't be pronouncing that correctly. Elf Guve. Well, so here's some women names taken from the Regesta Regum Anglorum, a collection of royal charters. Oh, that's cool. Names are transcribed as they appear in the documents. Variants are grouped under standardized heading. Oh, nice. Since the charters were written either in Old English or Latin. Oh, the language context. I see. Okay, it's not that the names aren't English. I kind of like Alflad's pretty good. I like the lad, maybe. Maybe we get out of the A's. I feel like I got some A's. What else we got? Berghild? No, thank you. I think it's like is it Buga? I forget what the double G's. Cunilufu. Cunilif Cunivin or Cunivudne. Because the Y's end up being long. I kind of like the Flad. Let's see. I know I don't need that. I already have someone with Geo. I just want. I think that just means like love. Liofe. All right, I'll give her that. But I'm going to change the E to an A. Okay, sold. I need a farmer. Right, what was... yeah, Yabur, but then I don't like... Okay, I'll just go with farmer. All right, so I need a name, something farmer. Whoops. Stop that. I need 2 of those. Okay. I don't really have any stat blocks for these, but I'm just going to put in, I can put in a note or 2 for them. Okay, so I need 2 dude names. I'll, in case anybody wants it, since this is a kind of a cool resource, Anglo-Saxon female names. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to have to, it's going to ask me to update any type because I want to make a note of it. It's going to ask me to update it. Well, let me just add a note before I do anything like that. Bookmark. Yes. Got it. Got it. Okay. Good. All right. Let's find some male names. Oh, here we go. Oh, they just got a whole big slew of names. Aka, Alkov. Let's go. So, can we get some different? Oh, really? None? No. Okay. None. None. Not helm. Nut. Nothelm. Nothelm. Nothelm or Nothelm? Petwine. That seems like a Raedmund. Raedwald, Raedwine, Raedwulf, Raegnold, Reynold. Reynold. Sure. Let's go. We got Redmond, like Redmond. I'll go with Reynold. Good, done. One more. All right, one more. Where are we going? Nope, wrong window. Here we go. Ada, Siedemann, Sidrak, Siegebrit, Siegebrut, Siegebert, Siegehelm, Siegher, Siegulf, Sieja, I don't know, Siebert. Okay, Siebert. There we go. I'll probably just remove the H. Friar Gustin, Goodwife Leofa, Reynold Farmer, and Siebert Farmer, or Subert. It would be Subert, but we would say Siebert or Siebert. I think I'm gonna I was thinking about this. I really want to try as maybe a New Year's resolution thing for next year to read Beowulf in the Old English. I think that'd be kind of fun thing to try. Not sure if it's more than I can chew, but okay. So I suppose I should put them in alphabetical order, right? Middle-aged, tonsured of the Order of Saint Wihtred. Saw the smoke from. Actually, I don't need that part of it. HD1. Middle-aged. Answered. Short and somewhat portly. Okay, so we got HD1, Friar of the Order of St. Wihtred, middle-aged, tonsured, short, and somewhat portly, but of a pleasant disposition. Should I roll up some? Hold on a minute. I don't need these two. Let me see. Do I have? I think I might need to open it up here. Open. Nope. Booklets. Freeze. Yep, stuff I don't need right now, but I do need, or I want here. So I said it's pleasant, so I won't. Actually, I don't really need any of these, but I might be able to use. Thinking the wrong thing. Booklets, players. I need to make a table for this to use as I'm thinking about this. Let's see. Yeah, I was going to order a roll of Virtue and Vice. Let me just find okay, let's open this up here. Where's my dice? No, I got dice here somewhere. I got a couple of D6s. Okay, so I was thinking actually I should add, do I need to add 2 more Virtues and Vices just so I have 6 of each to make it a little bit easier to roll on? Maybe. I'd like them to have basically the same chance of success. No, success is not the right word. What I mean is the same chance to either for anything to show up. So in this case, well, if I roll 2d6, how would that work? Okay, I'm not going to think about that right now. Or will I? I wonder if is there a solution? Yeah. Let's see. Welsh Piper has something on this? No, not really. All right, so DuckDuckGo's search assistant says that can't be right. Because they're saying you can delete, you can put it up into 4 groups: 2 to 4, 5 to 7, 8 to 10, and 11 and 12. But 11 and 12, there's no way they don't have enough. Yeah, that's not right at all. 11 and 12 has between them has a like a, I don't know. We're looking at 11 as 5 here. Why am I looking at that over here? Let's bring this over here. I'm saying I don't have time. I guess I do have time. I'm going to try to figure it out a little bit better. Yeah, see, it might not be possible. But maybe it's close enough. For my purposes, this moment, I'm just going to go ahead and say close enough. Close enough. Because, so that just means that there's a less chance of them being courageous. I suppose that's fine. Sorry, so let's just see here. So let's make a test roll here. All right, 5. So I got 5, which means just. Okay. Make sure to save as I'm going here. But on the flip side, what is that vice? 4. Oh, so he's a glutton. And so maybe I'll increase this to rotund. A wine stain. This habit is worn and wine stained. Actually, I think that's in the wrong place. When I say but. What the hell? Weird. Okay. All right. I hit the wrong button and logged myself out. Hopefully everything is still going. All right, so noise in the line. I actually only logged myself out. I'm not sure. Let me know if you hear more noises. There shouldn't be any. Pleasantly disposed. Gluttonous. This habit is worn and Weinstein. Okay. Oh, glitching. Well, let me know if it continues to glitch. Let me know if it continues to glitch. I can't hear it. I can't hear it on my end. So hopefully it'll sort itself out. Okay. So Friar Gostin. It might have more than one. I'll give him HD. Yeah, I'll give him 2. Why not? Okay. Now the Good Wife. HD 1. Peasant. Yeah. Also, these are all middle-aged. Maybe I'll make him elderly. Because these are both good middle-aged. Pleasant, middle-aged. I kind of want tall and not wiry. Now I'm going to roll for... Oh, yeah, I can roll for the other thing, too. I wanted to roll for the disposition. I think, conceptually, she's... which one of these I don't need? She's not really fearful, confused, peaceful. She's kind of despairing, really. Let's see her attitude. Let's see if she gets attitude. I don't know if I really want to use this, but I'll roll for it anyway. We got 4, which is prudent. I'm just going to say she's despairing. That's really what it is. What's that? Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll roll for that in a second. So... set the audio. All right, give me a sec. Let me resetting the audio. All right. I'm going to mute real quick. Okay. Unmuted. Is it better? Is it better? Fixed. Great. Great. All right. She went peasant, middle-aged, tall, wiry. Yeah, despairing. What would be her... All right, so her virtue... 7. 7 on the virtue meter. So is what? 7 is part of group 3. 1, 2, 3. She's prudent. Okay. Discerning good and choosing the right means to achieve it. Yeah, she's lost her way, but she was... Maybe she was prudent. Prudent, but... What's her... Probably should pick, but I'll see what I get. So 6 gives me group 2, which is lustful. Oh, well, yeah, that kind of makes that definitely. Maybe I might add some more notes for her, but there we go. That's probably a pretty good pretty good summation for her. That makes sense to me. All right, so he is also HD1. Oh yeah, I was gonna switch those spots, right? Did I say alphabetical order and then put the wrong one in the wrong order? I probably did. Both peasants. I'll convert. Oh, prisoner. I'll convert one to a ghoul of some sort momentarily, but I'm just gonna put this in here for now. Middle-aged. Stocky. Oh yeah, one of them's dead and one of them's. So let's roll die. All right, so 1 to 3, Reynold is dead. 4 to 6, Subert is dead. All right, so he's Subert or Cybert Farmer. He's dead. You know. Okay, I'll fix that. All right, so Reynold is alive. Let's see, what is his? Well, I'm just doing his attitudes in the past, right? Because he's dead now. Actually, let me see, just to get an idea of what his demeanor was like before this. So I've got 2 dice. I'm gonna say the gold die is the emotion, and the blue die is the attitude. I got 3 and 5. So he was stressed but optimistic. Okay. All right. Whoops. Oh, yeah. Dead was. Because these are good notes. So, if they ask someone, either the wife or the friar, about kind of like, well, what was Reynold like before he died? I could say he was stressed out, but he was optimistic for the future. Whatever that optimism comes from. Unknown. And then in terms of his character, let's see what he gets for his virtues. 10. What group is 10? 10 is group 4. So he's temperate. Oops, cocked. And 9. Oh, so he got number 4 on both. Temperate but wrathful. Okay, so there's all right. So yeah, he's mostly okay, but don't make him mad. Why does it not like it is temperant, right? That is a word. I'm not making that up, right? This I have to say, yeah, Oxford English Dictionary, temperate. What I was gonna say is, oh wow, they don't. Nice. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, temperate went out of fashion in the 1600s. I don't care. I'm still on it. I'm still there. I am still using it, pal. Don't tell me. Never tell me the odds. Never tell me it's gone out of style. Add to the dictionary, my friend. Where are you? Learn that spelling. Okay, now the poor, well, was a poor guy, I guessed. So again, whoops, I keep doing that because I'm forgetting where things are. Okay, so then I'm going to use the blue and the gold die. Gold will be the emotion, blue the attitude for how he was in life. Oh, you look at that. This poor guy was joyful but competitive. Okay. All right, this is interesting. was, I don't know if young is the right word. It's got to be something between young and middle-aged. Just, I don't know. What did I say was joyful? Oh, joyful and competitive. I haven't decided how long it's going to be, how long this guy was in the ground before. I think I'll put all this stuff inside the prints because this is not going to be. Okay, joyful and competitive. Average build and height. Oh, and now I'll roll for his. I got 6. So in terms of his virtue, 6 is in which group? I've got too many windows I got to keep open. 6 is in group 2. So he was just. Okay, interesting. Just, but 9 is group 4. So he was also wrathful. Am I reading that correctly? Oops, wrong book. Yep. Just but wrathful. And that's not the right book. Here we go. It's also wrathful. And these two were, I'm going to say, his brothers, right? And I know there's actually I can get the actual glyph. What did I do with the glyph window? Window text. Glyph browser. I feel like they need to give me a bigger window. I find it hard to read. There's the big one. There's the small one. Bam. All right. Let me drag this and we'll add it. Okay. There we go. All right. All right. Friar Gostin or Gustin. Goodwife Leofa, Reynold Farmer, and Subert Farmer. All right, I guess, well, I'm going to have to stat it up. So I might as well. He's just dead. Dead. Let me lest anybody get confused, mostly myself, dead. Now, what am I going to do with you? How many hit dice shall we give? And what? So I like the idea. So here's some of my thinking here. I like the idea. This is not just a ghoul. In that it's like unintelligent, just like, I'm here to eat bodies and I'm here to chew bubblegum. I'm here to chew bubblegum and paralyze and eat people. I'm all out of bubblegum. I want there to be some of that personality left. That there is something there that still remembers. Maybe his the love for his wife. I feel like that also kind of plays in to some theme a little bit, because so to go back to the first time I ran this, when they got to, so what happens is if you make it all the way to the end, you confront the demon who's trying to convince the boy that he essentially he's been grooming this child. Okay. And what I thought was really lovely, and I didn't imagine it at all, but the party, they went to the farmhouse where the boy was from. They interacted with the mother and father, and they saw that, okay, this is a bad house, like a broken home situation. And they looked over things, and they found, because in my notes for the adventures, underneath the bed is a little idol or figurine of Saint Wichtred, because the boy was really interested in Saint Wichtred. That's some of the connective tissue here of how connections were made, was through the sect or cult, and this kid being interested in them kind of brought him to notice of the acolyte, who unfortunately then brought him to notice of the demon. Obviously that was not the plan, not nobody's plan, but that's kind of what happened, right? So, and what they did was, the boy's there with the demon, and they showed the boy they had brought it with them, and they showed him, or gave him, the this idol, this figurine, whatever. And it kind of, I think I rolled some dice, or maybe just decided, like, yeah, that brought him back. Like, he kind of remembered something that he had lost, and the boy didn't end up turning, didn't end up giving in, kind of closed themselves off from the demon. So it was kind of a nice moment. I don't know if that moment will get, the wonderful thing about playing all this stuff, who knows what the experience will be like tomorrow when I run it. It could very be totally different. But now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of like this idea carrying through again to this kind of microcosm, right? That's the macrocosm adventure. Here we have this little microcosm in which you have this, clearly this undead, or what do I call them? I call them unliving creature, but he's not just a bleh, there's some memory there, there's something there of the former life. And in fact, like, if they do, in kind of a weird way, if I think that the woman will know, if she goes and embraces with him, like, it'll end. This is not an undead that's going to go rampaging around the countryside. So there are a couple ways this leads into what the party does when they get there. They can get there, they can suss it out. She's not going to want to let them in the granary, because that's where, right, that's where he's hiding out, or that's where he kind of ended up. And again, I think part of that memory is how is, if you think yourself, well, it's just this kind of ghoul thing. Well, how did it end up in the granary? How did it end up, how did she end up being able to maneuver it? Well, that's why, she, like, as she hears the friar coming, she's able to, like, there, it's not just in a kill state. He's able to kind of hide out there. But, just the circumstances are going to mean that, they all have to, basically, to pay for this crime, they all have to go, right? That's the kind of we're talking about sort of the justice beyond the grave. Like, what is the cosmic, to rebalance things cosmically? They all three, well, one of them already went, and then they all three have, and now another one's gone, but the third part of this love triangle basically has to go. And then if they do other things, it's kind of a nice, if it were an ongoing game, it would be a nice element of, well, if they do take her into custody, let's say they don't get to the barn or the granary, and they take her into custody, well, what happens? I don't know. Certainly, if she ends up hanging or getting killed or something for her crime, that will also, it will end. But maybe he'll end up, then it'll just be a mindless thing, or maybe he'll haunt the farm. Some fun stuff to think about, but it's beyond the scope of this adventure. But it's a fun thing to think about. Okay, for like an ongoing, or I don't know, if you want to have it as sort of, like I said, if you're playing in this little mini micro setting, that could be a thing that happens. Is he's haunting the farm, or something else goes on. But in terms of his statisticals, let me see what I need here. What do I need? Let me see. In my other adventure, I do have kind of ghoul things and zombies. Let me just see, what did I give them? what did I do for them? Just to get an idea of... Because I don't have a... I'm putting together a bestiary, but I don't really have it yet. Once I have a bestiary, it'll be a lot more obvious. Or not obvious, I'll have kind of an easier kind of copy-paste baseline. I just don't have it yet. So... no, it's not that. Where are you? What did I do with you? Oh, there you are. I think. Yeah, okay. I'll bring this over here. So the Orkneys, that's the higher target. That one's tougher. That one's too tough. Yeah, the Wakeneus is yeah. Yeah, I think I kind of want to give him 3 HD. Why am I thinking about that? But is there a name for this thing? So an Orkneys is the is so I may have to come up with a different name for it. So in Beowulf, so it's kind of really interesting, right? The word orc, when people are looking at, well, where does the word orc come from, right? And Tolkien, like, where did he get orc from? Orc seems to have been come from Latin, from orcus, as in, like, D&D's orcus, kind of an underworld deity. It makes one appearance. I think it makes one, or there might be two, but I don't know. Very few appearances in Old English, one of which, I guess the more well-known one, is in this term Orkneas, from Beowulf, which is apparently referring to kind of a revenant type creature. So Aeneas, which I think is a word that only comes up, I think, once also, and is being like a body, and then orc meaning like an evil body. So some kind of revenant, a demon, just something, obviously something not good. So in Escape, when I've been rewriting Escape for which is that reverse dungeon crawl adventure, where I had I had literally a ghoul in there. I call it an Orkneys, and I went for the zombies. I call them Waekneys, which now I'm forgetting where I got Waek from. But now I'm wondering, do I need a third term either for one of these, or not? Where did I get? I have some Old English. I've had this book forever. Old English Grammar and Reader. But I don't know if it doesn't necessarily have all the words in it. I do also have, which I got somewhat recently, and I brought up here and then kind of forgot about. I have this, I forget where I got this from, this Middle English dictionary. Not quite Old English, but it's a good, and there are some Old English I gotta look up. I'm just gonna see if there's anything in here. Like I said, it's a terrible thing sometimes. You take notes in different places, then I'm in different locations, and I don't remember. Let's see if it has anything here to remind me about what the heck I was thinking. Oh, this is V. I need W. Oh, is it walk? Was I getting it whack from walk? Like Walking Dead? No. sometimes with these dictionaries too, it is hard to see where the actual, like, hey, what does it mean in English? It's because you're getting all these references. And it's like, what is the actual? Or is it weak? There's shoot, what's the famous? It's like, I think Bosworth Teller has the University of Toronto has apparently has the best Old English dictionary, but you got to pay. It's really for academics. No, it doesn't show up. So now I don't know. Oops. Let me drag this over. So now I don't know where I got whack. There's wax. What is that? Wax. That will be kind of an interesting one. It kind of matches up. There's was. By chance, accident. And this context, actually, that's not a bad. Kind of works too. But it's not really what I'm looking for. What is woe, misery, evil? Maybe that's where I got it from. Wawa. That might have been. Maybe that was it. But what if? See, unfortunately, I don't have a reverse. What I need is an English to Anglo-Saxon, or to Old English, I should say. Modern English to Old English would be a lot more helpful. I don't know if I have it. Well, I'm just gonna, let me not get too caught up with that. So I'm just gonna say, all right, so do HD3 unliving, some kind of NAS. I'll figure out. Let me see if I, you know what? I get caught up in this stuff, but I feel like sometimes the naming. Let me see that. So it's shoot. I think this is probably from French. They don't have searcher as a, because I'm thinking about, so what I'm trying to think about, my idea here is, sorry, I bumped my mic with my head. I forget I have a mic. It's right over my head. What I'm thinking about is, whoops. Oh, no. Is, like, what is this type of creature doing? Right? It's got unfinished business. There's something, if some things are just driven by just if you can imagine that, okay, the ghoul types, they're just driven by an unending hunger. They're literally, and maybe that's what I should do. Oh, that's too good to pass up. Okay. I've got something on my brain here. So we have these different, oh, no, where are you? Oh, sorry, it's in a PDF, not in here. So we have, no, hold on a minute. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Look that back here. We have these different virtues and vices. And I might have to add a couple more, because I'd like to get the 6 and 6, ideally. But we have these vices here, right? So if you can imagine that your classic kind of ghoul is just driven by gluttony. Okay. And this is why I need some other ones, because this one doesn't fit. It's not driven by gluttony. Is it driven by wrath? Uncontrollable rage? Maybe. But I feel like this is a little bit more. I kind of like the idea that it's unfinished. It's like it's actually in a way it's not responding to a vice. It's I guess you could say that in a way it really is responding to a virtue. It's responding to justice. Now I don't know. I got a lot of windows open here. Let me get some of these windows combined together. Oh, I used different things. Did I use different ones? No. There we go. Let's see, how many windows do I have left now? Yeah, I'm just going to combine some of these windows, and then I'll move the window over. So, like, here we go. Is that all of them? Are there any other ones? Oh yeah, I'll share this. I'll share that link in case anybody wants it. Okay, I can close these. Let me drag this over. Open her up. Oh, and let me, in case anyone wants Anglo-Saxon names. Okay, so what would you call somebody who's looking for seeking a seeker? I don't know what I'll get, but okay, what does this say? Sachet. It's from French, I'm guessing. Oh no, it's from second. Say okay. Oh, cool. No, it's not. Seokan. By late Old English as ask a question, seek sorrow was an old term for self-tormentor. Oh. Oh man. That's a great. I think sorrow. I just saw a video where the guy was talking about sorrow. I think it's like sorwe. Sorwe. Because the G is, I literally was just, there's a really, I've been doing all this stuff with, and Old English and whatnot. So I've discovered some YouTubers who are linguists or philologists, I don't know, who study Old English. And one just did a video talking about the swapping. So it was the G was, so he spelled it differently. And this could be just, this is what happens when these AI things. It's like you get like if I wonder if I go to the Bosworth Teller, which is where, Bosworth Toller, I should say, and I put in, does it come up with the G? Oh, it does come with the G. So I think he was showing it with an E. Or are they doing it here with a W? No. Okay, here they have it as a whole different thing. So, and this is the other thing. This Bosworth Toller, I think, is an older source. So they have it here as sorrow, grief. Anyway. point being that it went from sorrow to sorrow, and that's something that happens with words where you get this, and in English at least. So you end up with a word that starts off as basically sorrow, ends up as sorrow, and there's a bunch of those. And it's kind of interesting. I don't know what it was about English. I don't know if it happens in a lot of different languages, but it's kind of a cool English thing. And it's not just sorrow. It's like there's a couple of words like that where it goes from that have that same OW sound in modern English that were like basically a WO sound or WE sound in Old English. Kind of cool. Okay. Maybe I'll just call them a Sikh. Sikh sorrow. That works for me. Okay, so what abilities does it have? I think maybe that's it. It's not any. It's just gonna. It's not any big deal. Let's see. Hold on, what is it? Kaka says, sure would save a lot of time if one does it keep on the board list and leave NPCs unnamed. I mean, a lot of time for whom? I mean, I'm running this thing tomorrow, so if I don't come up with a name today, I've got to come up with a name tomorrow. Presuming they're going to ask names. I suppose I could just call them Bob and Jack. And, yeah, and you know, in terms of keep on the Borderlands, it's interesting. I'm kind of torn on it, right? Because it is an interesting thing. Hey, you know, do it yourself. Come up with your own names. And yeah, that's I think for me, when I see a lot of names like you see in Forgotten Realms, they yield. I don't know. I think of modern D&D names where it's like I'm of the bird tribe, so my name is like I don't know, something like Featherbottom, or like I feel like those are kind of cheesy. Like really, like everybody's got like feather in their names. Something, you know, I'm Bertrand Bluebeak. It's like, I mean, I guess it's okay. It's fine. It's not my deal. So in that case, if you had your book was full of that stuff, I'm like, I'm probably gonna want to change these if I have time. If I have time and opportunity, I'm gonna want to change them. At the same time, on the other hand, if you don't go through and name all of them. I mean, it's always funny because it happens in the games. And I had on this morning. I was making coffee. I was listening to I'm really interested in the Glass Cannon as they're doing Shadow Dark, and they're asking people, well, what's their name? And the GM, I forget his name, is like has to come up with a name, and sometimes they're kind of goofy, like, oh, his name's Joe Nobody. So I'm like, okay, Joe, but you know, why not? It's kind of one of those things. Like I had a really, you know, this kind of brings up. So there was a really good discussion a while back, not that long ago, and I thought about doing a video on it. Maybe I still will, on Discord, and it was about who was it? What's his name? The Luke Gearing. I guess I didn't realize. I just through this discussion. So apparently, Luke Gearing is very anti adventure hooks. He writes an adventure and no hooks. He does not believe in it. And he wrote a blog post, and the blog was pretty aggressive about it. But his point is like, hey, you bought the thing, you want to run the thing. I don't know your party, I don't know your table, I don't know your players. You come up with reasons for them to be there. And I think for the most part, people are like, this is kind of BS. And I think depending on what it is, and I know I felt this way with the Isle, was that like, you know, it's kind of it can be a little bit of a hard sell. I think for me, it was not even just, okay, well, the party can get to the Isle and even interact with the Isle, but then there's even another part where it's like, well, if they're going to go into it, not just the surface stuff, there's, you know, you have to come up with a reason. You have to come up with something. Either the party just gets hooked on the mystery, which could happen, and just like, we're going to figure this thing out. We're going to delve into it. But there's another part where if they don't, then it's like, well, why are we going down in this kind of doom sort of thing? And so Croco says, I don't care much for adventure hooks, to be honest. And I get it. And I think oftentimes when you talk to people, they will create their own kind of hooks or setups. So that was another, there were kind of two elements to the discussion. Was one about like, well, is that part of the adventure designer's job is to present you with hooks, or do you make them yourself? And the other thing is a hook versus a setup. And when we were on this discussion on Discord, we were going back and forth about it. When they were presenting some of their examples, I said to them, well, I don't think that's a hook. It's really a setup, because what it was is you're starting a campaign or a one shot, and it's like, you're on the isle doing this thing, and you get it. And okay, great. We're on the isle doing this thing, or we're in whatever situation, we're on the keep and we've been given this job. At that point, it's not a hook, because you don't need to hook the party. The whole point of the hook is that the party is in a sandboxy situation, and they haven't been given an objective, an imperative to go do this thing. If you're starting the adventure like I am, with you are working for the king, go solve this mystery, then I don't need a hook. You're already hooked. You're on the line already. That's the setup. It's just you're getting a little background on why you're doing the thing, but it's explicitly you are already doing the thing. Whereas to me, a hook is you are not already doing the thing, and here's where I'm going to tempt you to do the thing, right? And it's kind of interesting when you look at what I think things that are kind of sandboxed, like here's the Isle. Well, there's no particular adventure hook for the Isle, but his idea was like, look, if you buy the Isle, you're interested in the Isle, and you want to run the Isle, then you read through the adventure, which you should do. And I mean, I don't think he makes a statement, but I'll make it. You read the adventure and come up with a reason or whatever to get your party to there if you want to do it. But I think the flip side is that some of the places he's made, and what came up specifically was an adventure. I guess it's a hex crawl that I haven't read, which is I think called Tefrotic Nightmares for Morkborg. Is that this place is really unpleasant, seems really deadly, seems really tough. Like, why you're giving me this thing, and yeah, it might be interesting, but like if there isn't a strong hook, why is the party going to go out here? It's like, go out into the death zone. It's like, why are we going on the death zone? I find myself kind of in the middle of it, because I think a lot of people, when they think about it, will say, yeah, I usually have to come up with my own hook, or I usually have to do this or that, whatever. But I think it is also nice. It's a nice to have it. But I think you end up, when you think about it, you probably end up changing it or making it your own, or saying, oh, well, instead of this, I had them do that, or I inserted this into the campaign to get them there. I actually think that probably a lot of it just came from the fact that I think people felt like he was kind of his stance was so it was just so, I think, aggressively anti-hook. I think a lot of people, I think it just inspired anger, whereas if he probably could have said it in a different way, and it maybe wouldn't have been, I mean, I don't know how many people got angry, but it's very interesting to think about, like, what the kind of, like, the hook situation is. And I also think it's interesting to think about, well, what does an adventure designer owe you? You know, you buy this thing. What is it? What do you must have before you think like it's bad? And I think I get the sense he was reacting a bit to, you read a review or you read commentary which says like this adventure's garbage because it didn't have hooks. Like the hook is not the most important thing in adventure. And I totally agree with it. It's a nice to have, but in the absence of a hook, it's not toss this thing in the trash. And I kind of get the sense that that's what he's reacting to, that people acting like it's the most important thing in the world. And then he's just like, you know what? I'm just going to say it in stone. If you didn't know already, I'm not putting hooks in. Suck it. No hooks for you. Kind of thing. All right. So Kraga's got some comment here. Kraga says implicit hooks work fine. This reach is suffering from, bandit attacks. Then the players can decide to investigate for whatever reason or not. Don't remember any of the old adventures having hooks. Now they kind of think about it. Rumors are kind of hooks, right? I think I wouldn't say that they're different. A rumor is a hook. Oh, there's a dragon horde over here. That's your hook. It's put in a rumor form, which is almost, I mean, I guess it just is it just means that it could be, because, you get those ones where the hooks are lying to you. There is no dragon horde here, just death. But that's hooks. Hooks, yes, hooks come in the form, they're often presented as rumors. But yeah, that's your hook. And that's what a lot of the old adventures had is, yeah, they had that kind of, here are the rumors going around, which was kind of like, yeah, that is your hook. Ian says that's probably fine for a lot of games, but I couldn't imagine a pirate board game without hooks. Well, I think it's not so much that the game doesn't have hooks at all. I think if the one side of it would be, so here are the two sides, right? So side, I don't know, whichever side you want to call it, side A says, as an adventurer, as a client, or I guess a consumer of adventures, the adventure designer, writer should give me hooks to use. The other side is the adventure designer saying, you create the hooks. Here's the material. You take this material and you create whatever hooks you need for your party, right? So I guess the pro built-in hooks would say, why can't you just come up with a few things? Like, you wrote this stuff, you know it better than me. Just give me some hooks. And I think as people think about, especially when you think about, that basically all the rumors are hooks, like they've been doing hooks since the beginning of time. I don't have my Keep on the Borderlands here. I don't think I really have any old adventures here to pull up, but hooks kind of part and parcel, rumors, whatever, as your thing. Why are you special? Why do you feel like you are special? And I think the other part which I think he doesn't really communicate, because he's writing it kind of from I think he's really just having fun. I don't know how serious it's supposed to be, but it's just kind of like, it's a very aggressive little blog post. He's not giving you he just says, like, look, your group. If you know that your group is attracted to money, or to saving people in distress, or to righting wrongs, or to doing their own villainy, then you just read the material that you want, and then you put that little bit of elbow grease into designing a hook that matches your party. Because I don't know your party. I can just come up with some generic stuff that's probably BS you're probably not going to use anyway. So I'm not going to do it. You do it, right? And it's kind of like, well, where do you want that? And I think when you talk to a lot of people, I think I think when we were having discussions on that Discord, I think a lot of people were chiming in saying, like, yeah, I kind of have to go through. I'll go through and I'll take their hooks, or I'll take the hook that they gave me and I'll rework it, whatever. So I think that there's, the truth is in the middle, right? I think it is nice to give people a starting point. But I think also, are you not reading the adventure? Because if you read the adventure, then you probably can come up with them. Like, if in Defraudic Nightmares, you could probably find a place that you as a GM are interested in. Like, oh, there are some necromancers over here. Well, let me give them something that I then want them to hold on to, and then I'll do that. And that ends up being, that's my adventure hook, and I'll give them something. They're looking for something, I'll say it's there, and then they can go get it, right? But I think, like I said, I think it doesn't take it, it's something that, hey, it doesn't take a ton of time, so why not just do it? I guess. I don't know. I think as I do more of these, right, more than I probably will have my own opinions as to whether, so far this one and Escape, they're not really designed for hooks or they're just designed as like, hey, you're on the job doing the thing, right? When I get to the point of putting this out for other people besides me to use, I might put something like, hey, you can either start them out in the employ of the local lord or do something else. But that's kind of it. That's it. Like, one way or another, they get on the case. So you can decide how they get on the case, and then they're on the case. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's an interesting idea. And so I guess and I find names is in a similar thing, right? I think nowadays, I don't think people would really put up with not naming the NPCs, especially since a lot of modern gaming or modern adventures, for say the OSR, let's just say, because that's the one I'm most familiar with, big into kind of faction play and interplay between NPCs, and that's really hard to do if you're not going to name them, because then you just have to come up with some other kind of descriptor. The innkeeper, you could just have, I guess if everybody's got a job, but then you can only kind of have one of each. The innkeeper is in love with the farmer, but the farmer loves the vintner, and the vintner is in with the mayor. You just want to give names. I think it makes much more sense now to give it names. In terms of back then, I think there was more of in search of the unknown, or whatever the other adventure. That's you basically half the dungeons is incomplete purposefully. So you're supposed to complete it. They give you the dungeon creation tools. It's like, great, now you finish the dungeon. Even is it the Lost City? I think has something similar where it's like, okay, and here's the end of the written material, and feel free to add more for the whole, basically the entire actual Lost City. Once you get down there, it's kind of like, yeah, here it is. So now write your own Lost City. So there definitely was a different idea of what was acceptable. I think people now would revolt. And I think even now, I think the corporate sensibility would be like, oh, great. We'll have this, make it the 5 modules, the down to the Lost City. Then we'll have the next module be what's in the Lost City. I mean, I guess that's kind of what they want to do with Hamlet, Village of Hamlet, and Temple of Elemental Evil. Only Elemental Evil got pushed off so long that it kind of didn't quite work out the way they wanted it. Cargo says, just got to print out some actual city maps and put them on top of each other. Sure. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, you could do that too. Or just chuck Caverns of Thracia in there instead, right? Wherever you get the list. It's like, now you're down in the Caverns of Thracia. It's just, actually, that'd be kind of a cool idea, to be honest. Okay, so we've got my characters here. So Subert or Seibert, Reynold, Goodwife Leofa, Friar Gustin. Okay, so he's a Seek Sorrow, which just means, should I put a note here about what a Seek Sorrow is? Maybe? I don't know. But that's it. Okay, so maybe I should call this the setup, because it's really, I know I just closed that up and then I did that, because this is really, I think I can do and then I can have all the other notes on the other page, and that kind of, nope, not that, not you. Oh, that's too big. Right, because that's heading 1, right? Yeah, that's heading 1. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm going to change these guys all to heading 3, heading 3, 3, heading 3, heading. I think I'm just going to center you. Maybe that's all I want to do. Okay. Maybe I'll make it a bit bigger. So I just want to, oops. Yeah, no stuff. Okay, let me just let's make you a, what? No style. They just do weird, there's some really weird little bugs when you create new text boxes in this app. And man, I wish they would fix them, because they're kind of annoying. They're just a touch annoying. Is that too big? No, not too big. Okay. Whoops. Yep. The farmstead. Oh, the farmhouse. What are you doing now, Affinity? Trying to glitch me when I need you most? Oh my gosh. Yep, it glitched me. Wow. Just wow, publisher. That's how you do me? Unbelievable. Okay. Yes, please get the recovery file. I'm okay, so I didn't lose too much. But I lost. Do it again. This is why I save often. Affinity is great, and it's a lot cheaper. I believe they are. They're supposed to be. I should probably look because they are. So there's a lot of consternation or confusion in the Infinity. If I don't follow, I'm pretty happy with the software, and unless I run into a problem, I'm not really looking. I'm not really looking to do anything. I'm just, hey, look, it's working for me. Great. It's let's do 9 point. But I know that so Affinity was bought by Canva, and it's been with Canva for a little while now. And they had this whole thing where they're leaving everybody alone. They're not going to do anything. They're leaving everybody alone. They're not going to do anything. And I think people were happy with that. But they had a whole thing just recently in which they were starting. I don't remember when exactly, but they basically were no longer allowing you to buy. You could not buy any of the Affinity suite. And it was kind of, see, and it's doing this again where it's adding italics, the emphasis, and I did not ask for it to. And they were being really cagey. In fact, I'll just pull it up. Let me just see. They're being very cagey about the what they were doing. So they wouldn't let you. They wouldn't let you. So here's the homepage. Let's just see. So it looks like they've changed the. Looks like they've changed the logo form. How can Affinity be free? Yeah, learn more. I paid for Affinity. All right. Well, looks like Affinity is now free. Okay. Well, this is November 3rd. Well, this is of interest to me. I mean, I got my value off of Affinity, so I'm not mad at them. Okay. Oh, you said ruining, Ian, not running. I don't know if they're shitifying it yet. So let's just read this because this is new to me. So I've been an Affinity user for a few years now. Why we made Affinity free and how we'll keep it that way from November 3rd. We're sharing why we made Affinity completely free, how our sustainable model makes professional design tools accessible to everyone, and why creative freedom is at the heart of it all. Okay, so they had an announcement. Where's the announcement? All right, well, let's just see. Introducing the all-new Affinity Professional Design, now free for everyone. Okay, this is on the 29th, so still pretty close. Okay, introducing the all-new Affinity, a fully reimagined professional design app that combines photo editing, vector design, and page layout tools in one fast, responsive platform, now completely free for everyone. The all-new Affinity is here, a fully reimagined professional design app that unites. Okay, I just saw that, read that. Designed for ultimate flexibility, free for everyone. The launch introduces a bold new Affinity brand and visual identity. All right, so for 10 years, Affinity has been the tool of choice for professionals, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now that Legacy enters a new chapter. All right, one app to craft it all. Okay, all this stuff. All right, so here we go. Free for everyone. From the beginning, Affinity set out to challenge the idea that powerful design tools should come with a hefty price tag. Today, we're taking that even further. Affinity is now completely free forever. The full professional-grade Affinity experience available to everyone. There's no catch, no strip-back version, and no gotchas. The same precise, high-performance tools that professionals rely on every day are now open to all because creative freedom shouldn't come with a cost. All right, so there you go. And then if you've got Canva, so Canva has a premium, I guess, AI tools. And they're now, if you have Canva Premium, they're going to be bundled inside there. So you could look at this and say, is this a little bit of a Trojan horse to get some of this Canva AI stuff to tempt you? And you can export into Canva. Well, there you go. Yeah, Ian says it's a strategy to tempt people off of Adobe products, but I bet there's a big asterisk on that free forever. Well, I didn't see one. They're saying it's free forever. I think the asterisk is, I mean, I can hope, right? I don't see anything here there's no fine print. I don't see, there's no linkage here. There's no little footnote. There's nothing here, right? So I imagine what they're going to do now. Who knows how this is going to develop in the future, right? Affinity, they haven't put. I wouldn't say they put out tons of updates. I think they're only on version 2, right? I think this is right. What am I in? What's my version? 2.65. Is there? I'm just saying, is it giving no updates available? Okay, I'm already using the latest. All right, I don't see any Canva. Maybe this hasn't rolled out, or maybe there's a new version of the software that's going to be that you're going to download that's going to be different. Now, of course, forever is a tough thing to estimate because who the heck knows, right? And that's always the problem. That's always where this kind of enshittification comes, right? Because promises are made forever, but then forever changes, marketplace changes, economics change, and suddenly it's like, well, yeah, but, or oop, whatever it is. Who knows? But as of this statement, I guess we'll go back to the other piece there because this piece is supposed to explain how they mean to do this. Okay, so we read the announcement. But Plex, yeah, I mean, I don't want to. It's very easy to find lots of examples where the stuff didn't go well. This is not to say that Affinity can't pull it off, but yeah, I mean, there's a graveyard full of things that were once free forever that are no longer free forever. I don't have much experience with Plex, but there's definitely other ones I could probably think of that I use that were like, oh, it's going to always be free. And then that always, I mean, I think, what's that? The editing app for video on your phones and stuff. I can't remember that one that's very popular. For use like Instagram and TikTok, they use a lot of it, or it might be owned by TikTok. I don't know, but it was like free, and then they kind of kept scaling back what free meant. Okay, so here's their plan on how they're going to keep it free. In just 4 days, more than 1 million people have signed up to Affinity. Okay. Among the excitement of first impressions, we also saw fair questions. How is this possible? What's the catch? Is my data safe? We understand the curiosity, so let's take a closer look at why Affinity is free, how it works, and what it really means for the future of creative tools. Free by design. Making Affinity free is a continuation of something that's been at the heart of Canva since day one. The belief that everyone should have access to great design tools, no matter where they live or how much they can afford. Canva has been built on a simple idea. Make powerful creative tools available for free and charge only for more advanced features like premium content, collaboration, or AI-powered tools if they are needed. It's a model that's powered Canva's growth for more than a decade, allowing us to stay profitable while keeping design accessible to everyone. Today, Canva is a rapidly growing company with over 28 million paying customers and $3.5 billion in annualized revenue. That sustainable foundation enables us to keep investing in both our free Canva experience and the next generation of creative tools, including offering Affinity completely free. The expert team that built Affinity prior to Canva's acquisition continues to build Affinity today, now supported by the investment and stability to grow even further. The product stays true to its heritage while continuing to celebrate the craft, precision, and power that professional creatives love. Okay, so yes, it looks like I'll have to I'm definitely not going to do this now, but it looks like this app is different than mine. So they probably have a different download where whatever I have is just it's probably just be like that. And then I'll have to download something else for updates going forward. So that's interesting. But I guess I do appreciate that my version, I'm not getting auto moved over to a version that I don't necessarily want. Let's see, anything else here? Creativity is yours. We also know that when something is free, people naturally wonder about their data. So let's be clear, your creativity is and always will be yours. Affinity stores your work locally on your device. Canva does not use any of your Affinity content to train or develop AI features. And that includes anything you create using Canva AI tools within Affinity. All right, so there's at least one good thing. Again, this all could change tomorrow, but this is what they're saying today. What comes next? Making Affinity free is about more than software. It's part of our bigger mission to build one of the world's most valuable companies and use it to do the most good we can. That mission guides everything we do. It's why we've given more than $1 billion worth of premium Canva products to schools and nonprofits, and why we've committed another $100 million to help end extreme poverty in partnership with Give Directly and everything. Okay, cool. So I'll have to try it out. I'll try it out. It'll be interesting to see if they fix some of these bugs that have been annoying me in mine. But I'm definitely going to keep. I'm definitely going to keep. Yeah, keep mine. But it's interesting. So there you go. Hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully it'll be enough on its own to put the Canva AI tools in a place to make it tempting to people. Or Canva, I should say Canva Premium. There's probably more to it than just that. And then we can watch to see if there's like a premium creep where suddenly something you used to be able to do in regular Affinity suddenly becomes premium. But I kind of wish they would keep it. Like, I like Blackmagic, what they did. I used DaVinci Resolve. I bought Studio a couple of years ago because I just felt like it had enough, and it was a one-time payment. And maybe there'll be another version where I'll have to pay an upgrade or something. But so far, it's been all one time, and I'm super happy paying that money to Blackmagic, getting it. But the free version of DaVinci Studio is incredibly powerful. I think what it does is it puts you in a position where they can offer all these integrations with other Blackmagic products or things related to that. And so you just naturally, maybe you end up going into the Blackmagic ecosystem. You know, they have cameras, they have switchers, they have all kinds of stuff. And then it's like, well, I'm happy with how Resolve does it. And oh, look, if I get this other Blackmagic piece of hardware, then I can plug that into Studio, and it has some really great integration, and that would save me time, and I like it anyway. So let me go and do that. And maybe that's where I think Canva's probably going, was they're hoping that I don't use Canva, but maybe if I play around with other Affinity things, suddenly I'll want to use Canva. I mean, I've used the Adobe version, their online their tool, which I actually does some things pretty well that I like, and it's easy and fast. So maybe I'll be tempted to try out Canva because it's right in Affinity, and then I don't have to muck around with Adobe. I just whoop into Canva, and then maybe I'll go. I mean, I'm not really interested in the AI tools, but maybe there'll be something else. So hopefully it'll work out. But I'm glad that at least they're not putting it out to pasture. Right? This isn't like, hey, we bought it and now we're shelving it, which happens also far too often. Or saying like, we want to take away Affinity, we want you to go do this in some kind of Canva, blah blah blah. Like, that was my worst. I think a lot of people's worst case scenarios. Oh God, they're going to phase out Affinity and force you to do things through some online Canva tools. And at least for now, we could say, take a little sigh of relief that they're not doing that. But we'll see. It's still a great. I mean, look, download it and try it out. Grab this version grab it while it's hot and it's free, because it is really good. And despite some niggling annoyances that I have with it, I'm very happy with it. And the unified approach of I'm gonna guess they're gonna make it, because if you can see up here, I have all three pieces because I bought the package, whatever. I did it, and you can switch between what they call personas. So this is the vector drawing persona, this is the photo persona. You can just kind of flip back and forth. And when you flip over, so for example, if I flip over to designer, I'll get some slightly different tools. Some things go away. There's some new things. You get some, things here, and then photos the same way, and I can just flip back. But I wonder if they've made that even more seamless an experience. I don't know, but we'll go with it. Okay, back to this. And then I'll probably take a break to get some lunch and stuff. So, I have the farmhouse, right? So the farmhouse. Why are you doing that? I don't want body. I want heading 3. Okay. Yeah, the shard. Whoops, it's from blackened. Walls. Single with a shoot. I actually took a picture of this, but it's on my other computer. Oh, you know what? Did I save it here? I might have. I was actually going to draw a little map of this, and then I realized, what am I doing? You know, sometimes maybe I'm the only one that this happens to, but you end up going down these little rabbit holes, and then sometimes you just got to stop and go, what am I doing this for? I was going to do a map of this thing, and maybe I still will if I do this when I get closer to me putting it out for people to buy. I'll draw a map because you really don't need it. I'm not, you know, what you. This is a situation, and this is where I think sometimes you just get caught in this kind of, I almost want to call it like prep drudgery. So if I was playing it, maybe if I was playing on a VTT and I'm running it, everyone's, the whole group we're running it on Foundry or Roll20, whatever. And you end up making like, okay, I got to make a battle map for this stupid farmhouse, but I don't need it because it's just one room. Like I did find this, was like, oh yeah, this kind of gives some of the layout. This is basically what I'm using. And I would start drawing it out, and I'm like, why am I drawing this thing out? What am I going to do? I mean, me personally, what am I going to do with that? I mean, I suppose I could basically copy this drawing and just have the parts there, but it's burnt. There's not really much to discover inside the farmhouse. So it's not like the specificity of all. I'll write some of the main things in there. The firebox and cauldron is there. Maybe there'll be a chest there with some stuff in it. Sure, why not? To tempt folks to be thieving, because basically that's kind of the roof is gone. The room with a firebox center. Floor is floor. What is this? Is there a name for the burning kind of smell? What is the smell of burning? Phantom smells. Whoa, that's creepy. Char. I already used char. What is this? New lexicon? Hold on, I'll get this over. And I keep opening up new windows. All right, I don't really want. Yeah, you don't need to know my location, pal. Okay. They have burning. I'm looking for burnt. Wet dog. Oh, they're making new words. I get it. That's kind of fun, but not what I'm looking for. Okay, resource for writers. Let's see here. Yeah. All right. Anosmic. Odorless. No smell at all. Heady, intoxicating, laden odor. Yeah, piquant. Oh, these are acrid, damp, fetid, frosty, funky, fusty, malodorous. Yeah, nausea. Yeah, putrid. No. Rancid. No. Rank. Ripe. I'm looking for burnt. And those are good. I'm looking for burnt, though. Where's burnt? I'm just going to click on some of these. Okay, burnt smell, smoky, scorched, charring. I got roasted, singed, a toasted fragrance, a scorched aroma. Oh, they're just giving me. I know that. I thought maybe there'd be some good other word thing for burnt, but it's not. All right, the frame is charred. Wisps of smoke still float up from the broken and blackened walls. I don't know what the ashy. I mean, charcoal, charred. I got charred. Maybe I'll just take that out. Ash. Strong. Just. All right, so I don't really have any kind of. I could put any magic items, right? He's got. Uh, 2d6 coins. Oh yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. I'm trying to think like what I guess I'm gonna put a Witchrid connection, but I already have a figurine. What's another? All right, let me get that window open again. Okay, get rid of these. Get out. Let's see. Let's see. Just trinkets. Not jewelry. Charms. Yeah. Reality pathing. I don't know what website that is, but we'll check it out. What else? Okay, what do we got here? The roll. Yeah, interesting charms. That's good. Well, yeah, that's okay. You're telling me about that. I want to see what they look like. I feel like all these things, they're so written for SEO that they really just are not. Just kind of bleh. I don't really tell you very much. That was okay. Are they good? Any imagery here? I want examples, people. Let's see. Yeah, no. Nope. Okay, medieval jewelry. Gold belt buckle. Reliquary pendant. All right, so let's see. Ceramic. Ourselves a wooden pendant with a faded painted strip of. Right, that's how I spell it, right? Oh, yeah. Oh. Ooh. I can put some runes in. I'm gonna put some runes in. But I need to know what to say. All right, let me get the other file out because might need to reference. Yeah. Okay, inside the pyramid, I have some puzzles, mostly around, a flame, right. So I'll have the flame. Oh, ooh, that's right. And a one face and on one face. Okay. A wooden pendant with a faded portrait of St. Richard painted on one face, and on the reverse, a flame ringed by the runes. All right, let's rune it up. Now I need window. Let me see how well I can do this. I've been doing it enough. I'm okay at doing oh no, I don't even need to do that. I forgot. I found this really cool runic typewriter. Now I don't have to share with you what I wrote. Womp womp. So it's truth is blind, which actually comes in will come into play in the pyramid. I will bring out a. That's kind of I'm happy with that actually, because for the reason that it doesn't it is a clue, but it's not a make or break clue or anything. I guess justice is blind is also, but we're going with truth. We're going here with truth. Okay, so that's the farmhouse. So farmhouse, whips of smoke still float up from the broken I guess I'll just rise. Rise from the broken and blackened walls. The thatched roof is mostly gone. Is burned away. A single long room with a firebox in the center. The floor is covered in a layer of ash. Strong odor of char hangs in the air. In one sheltered corner is a small chest. Inside the chest, 2d6 coins, a wooden pendant with a faded portrait of St. Wichtred painted on one face, and on the reverse, a flame ringed by the runes that spell out truth is blind. Sweet. Okay. Now, the let's see, where's this heading? 3 again. This is the granary. Let me see if there's a good image. That. Okay. I don't want a 3D. I'm looking for 3D printable granaries. What is this? Let's see. No, a kiln. No, not a kiln. Maybe I need articles would be better. Oh, see, here's the one, but I don't want to watch a video. I don't mind going to Instagram if it's let me. That's cool. What's this? Oh, come on. For real, Instagram? I don't want to do this. Oh. Does this have pictures? List of figures. No, I just wanted to. All right, plan. Let's see, 42. Oh, I might need to find this book. $27. Are they all going to be ruins? I'd like to see like a reconstruction. Late Saxon long hauls. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was looking. All right. Maybe another time. Not for this. Another PDF. To what do I owe this pleasure? Are you gonna give me a picture? That's really what I want. A picture or a nice diagram. Let's see. Ancient farm reconstruction of Anglo-Saxon hall. No, that's not it. I want a granary. I'm looking for a granary, or I could do a barn. If it is impossible, I'll console myself with a barn. No picture of an actual. What is this? Oxford Academic. Fancy pantsy. I really should like a picture. I have an idea in my brain of what it would look like, but I would also not be averse to seeing a picture, but oh, it's an abstract. Okay. Oh, figures and data. Come on. Come on. Jerks. I don't want to log in. I'm not an institution. Yes, I reject you. Reject them all. I don't have access. Ah, you are just a barrel of joy. guess, do I have to look at what this miniature is? I just want to see one. Can I not just see one? I don't know what this means. Excepto or Denegar? I go Denegar. Denegar to you, sir. Denegar. All right, that's close enough. I was thinking I was going to give it a conical roof. I mean, who knows how accurate that is? I mean, I certainly don't know. But man, all right, I'm going to maybe just Saxon granary. I don't know. I just want, maybe I'll have to do medieval granary. Oh, here we go. That might do. Hoodedhorse.com. Yeah, review mine there. Okay, good. What are you, Hooded Horse? You are nothing, because you're not. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's a game. You see, I just want an example. Here's a medieval one. All right, I'll just give it a thatched roof. I don't want a digital painting. Well, that's a cool one. What is that one? The Mazamboni people. Okay, maybe that's not in the right area. But still, I mean, not that I have to do it exactly like they did. I look for inspiration. All right, whatever. I'm going to call it go with what I had. Granary. Oh, you know what? Let me just do a couple other things here. You're heading to, attached to the farmhouse, but unscathed by the fire is a angular, an angular pen. I wonder, I think there's a name. I don't know if there's a name for this. This kind of the way the branches interwoven between posts. Their pen made from branches interwoven around a number of wooden stakes inside two pigs root in the mud. I wonder if there could be. See, this is where you can get really kind of, I don't know if complex is the right word, but it could be like, ooh, should I put something in the mud? Is there some clue in the mud? I don't know. It's a good question. Should it be, was he buried in the pen? Oh, that's even. Oh, ooh. Does that make more sense? Does that add to the creepiness that he was buried under the livestock pen? I mean, it's a brilliant place to put a body because who's going to look there? Got animals rooting around over the top. You just can kind of mud it up. You don't have to worry about the ground being disturbed because you've got some pigs and sheep and whatever else there. I feel like that's kind of not a bad thing at all. Actually, okay, I'm going to do that. That's even simpler. All right. All right, I'll have the root around root in the mud which a let's see, all right, attached to the farmhouse but unscathed by the fire is an ovular pen made from branches. I don't need this. Interwoven around a number of wooden stakes. Inside, 2 pigs root around a deep depression in the mud from which a trail of heavy footprints drag to a break in the fencing. Fencing? The fence. The fencing. Okay. Attached to the farmhouse but unscathed by the fire, an ovular pen made from branches interwoven around a number of wooden stakes. Inside, 2 pigs root around a deep depression in the mud from which a trail of heavy footprints drag to a break in the fencing. All right. Granary. A set apart from the farmhouse. A small windowless building. Building with a peaked thatch roof. A single door. Yeah, a single door. I don't know why I didn't need to delete it. It's single door is barred from the outside. Okay. Oh, I should probably put where they are. Okay. Alpha. The door. She will stand up when the party arrives, but try to keep herself between. Leofa sits with her back against the door. She will stand up when the party arrives. Them and the greenery door. Greenery. Okay, there we go. And then I guess I'll put like yep. A homestead surrounded by a low ditch and a waist high fence. There's got to be a name for that technique, right? What is the technique of, I'm sure this is not going to get me a good search result. What is the technique of leaving fences from branches and stakes called? It's called a wattle fence. Oh, never mind that. A Bonskis wire. Okay, an ovular pen. An ovular pen bounded by a wattle fence. Inside, two pigs root around a deep depression in the mud from which a trail of heavy footprints drag to a break in the fencing. Okay. I'm trying to get it, trying to get rid of that hanging chad. Root around a depression. I don't know. Have to, not really important for my purposes at the moment. A trail of heavy footprints. I do like the idea that he was buried underneath the livestock pen. That's good. That's good stuff. Farm sits surrounded by a low ditch and a waist-high wattle fence. Inside is a single farmhouse, let's see. I'm just looking for some fruits. Pears. What does a pear tree look like? Oh, yeah, I guess that's a single farmhouse, a pear tree, and, oh, a pear tree, a livestock pen, and a small granary. And then we'll do the against base of tree is the body of final farmer. Let's get that glyph again. Where are you? Stop. Can't see. They make it so small. And then they put the highlighting, and I can't see. There's the uppercase. Where's the lowercase? Is that right? No, that's OE. Where's AE? Oh, there it is. Okay. Lacey is in the body of Reynold Farmer. A deep gash. Just rent by a deep gash. And by a torn. I'll say torn open. Side, inside. Farmer once the husband of good wife Theopha, but now an unliving seek sorrow stands in the darkness. I'm down with that. I'm down. Okay. So there's the setup. Okay. Oops. Okay. Friar Gostan leads the party to the farmstead. On the way, he'll inform them of the situation as he found it the night before. The farmhouse burning, and let me just Reynold. I'm just gonna we're dead from strange wounds. I guess I should post the wounds and Yofa acting strangely. Okay. Yeah, so I have that. So, okay, now she is not very responsive, and her answers are evasive. She gives no clear when or why, but only insists on being left to herself and her grief. Let's see. I still haven't decided who's exactly done what. Who killed who for whom? Okay, so of the 3 players, right? She was lustful, prudent but lustful. Reynold was wrathful, and so was Subert, his brother. Okay. So let's just insert it. Let's see. Text. No. Yes. Nope. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, I didn't. Let's italicize him. The name. Okay. Gustan knows the history with Leofa having knows this history that Leofa had married oh gosh, brother. It's just easier for me to paste it in with the italics and everything than to. Leofa, okay, let's see. Gostin knows his history that Leofa had married Reynolds' brother Cybert, but had married long ago. Cybert, let's see, this disappeared. Some say he ran off. I don't know. He ran off with Wanderlust. And soon after, she married Reynold. Okay, that's what he knows. Copy the tab over. Sometimes weird things happen when you hit tabs. The reason why I'm not using the tab key is I found, again, this is another kind of, I think it's a bug with Affinity. I'm not sure. It's just an issue with the React, but sometimes it wants to, you tabbing, it's actually doing this thing where it's like going to a child version. It's like doing a hierarchical thing. And so it does weird things. I really just want to indent this, and I'm not trying to do a hierarchical thing. So I found it just less issues if I just tab it. There's probably some way around it, or I'm probably doing something wrong, but it's just easier to do that than for me to figure out what I'm doing. How to do it the other way. Okay, she's not very responsive and her answers are evasive. She gives no clear answer, no clear reason. If pressed, she will mumble confused confusingly about crimes, punishment, love, and okay, leads party of the farmstead. Okay, so we got, all right, Friar Gostin leads the party of the farmstead. On the way, informed of the situation as he found it the night before. The farm's house burning, Reynold, the farmer, dead from strange wounds, and Leofa acting strangely. Gostin knows this history that Leofa had married Reynold's brother, Subert. Long ago, Subert disappeared. Some say he ran off with Wanderlust, and soon after, she married Reynold. She's not very okay. Then Leofa is not very responsive. Her answers are evasive. She gives no clear reason as to what happened or why, but only insists on being left to herself and her grief. If pressed, she will mumble confusingly about crimes, punishment, love, and faithfulness. I'm running this for myself, so this is probably enough for me. If I was writing this, if I get around to writing this for someone else to run, I'll probably need to be a little bit more maybe a little bit more direct in kind of what kind of things she might say. I'm not sure, but and I'll have to put in something about the story here. I think now the story's maybe coming that she conspired with Reynold. You know, she married the wrong brother, basically. And there was not an easy way out of it. And Subert wasn't going to let her out. If there was a way to let her out, Subert wasn't going to let her out. I don't know if there was a way. I haven't really figured out culturally. Is this a place where divorces can happen? Is it where they don't happen? But however, maybe you know, she wasn't. Actually, I'll call it freedom. Everything was. She will speak about things fine until the. So this is where I'm going to kind of bring in a little bit of the events that kick off the main adventure, which is the lights in the sky, the falling star. Oops. Oh, yeah. We're in the wrong file. It's in the sky. She couldn't sleep. Bothered by strange couldn't sleep. Okay, lights in the sky. Bothered by star fell. If pressed, you will mumble confusingly about crime, punishment, love, and freedom. She will speak about how everything was fine until the lights in the sky. She couldn't sleep. She heard Siebert's voice when she closed her eyes. When the star fell, was as if she entered nightmare she has yet to wake. Finally, she insists that she must wake up. Wake from this cursed dream. So here's my insinuation that she's gonna I'll probably have to put, I'll definitely have to put a warning in terms of this is some self-harm, because she's not gonna make it. She's not that she's not in a spot, right? She feels like, and she's not saying it like she literally feels like she's still asleep. That's which I think is, I don't know, it doesn't really make it too much of a difference. This isn't an Inception issue with like the character who insists that she's asleep when she's awake kind of thing. It's more, and she's being a little bit, I don't know, I'm being a little bit metaphorical about it, but like this is it. Like she's got to so I guess I'll put a little thing here. I mean, I don't think I'll forget, but just in case. Truth. Let's see. Keep my Alpha had married Siebert, but was in love with his brother. Real, who returned her affection. When she did not annul the marriage, expired with Reynold, let's put R, to murder his brother. They buried him under the livestock pen and were, after a suitable time, were married. Is that how you spell no? Okay. Leof had married Siebert, but was in love with his brother Reynold, who returned her affection. When she could not annul the marriage, she conspired with Reynold to murder his brother. They buried him. They buried Siebert under the livestock pen and were, after a suitable time, married. I mean, that's kind of the deal. I was going to say there. I was thinking about here that there's just going to put a little note here. If the grounds are examined, a faint trail of mud All right, little note there. There's another little clue. All right, so here's what I've got. Oh, I found this little picture, which I think is nice. It's not quite exactly what the farm looks like, but it's kind of close enough. Okay, so the setup. We've got the players. It's just the cast here, right? Friar Gostin, Goodwife Leofa, Reynold Farmer, and Subert Farmer. The location, so we got our farmhouse, a livestock pen, a pear tree, and the granary. And then, essentially, it's a very, 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 very simple scenario. They're going to show up with the friar. The friar's going to fill them in on the backstory. Hey, Leofa, yeah, she's been married to Subert, and he disappeared. Some say he had some kind of wanderlust, and then we're talking that she ended up marrying the brother. That stuff happens. Okay, great. Leofa is going to be very evasive, but we'll see what the players. This is all about what do the players say? How do they say it? What angles do they take? They may not talk to her at all. They may, whatever. The fire in the homestead's going to kind of obscure. It's not going to be really any clues there, though they can find that. They can potentially take the pendant with them. And then really it's, well, how do they press her? Obviously, they can insist to get in to the door, and she will be resistant. I should probably put a note in there. So I guess I'll put a note. Assist anyone opening the granary door. Figure a door. If she fails and is revealed, she breaks down and pleads her case. It was a murder. Was a murder, but it for her freedom and love. All right, let's put she'll plead her case. Emphasis and emphasis. Okay. Great. So I think I'll have to change that because it's not really adventures. All right, so I will. I'm going to take a break. Need to get some food. I'll probably be on the other channel. But yeah, so this is the setup. I think it'll be good. This is something obviously I'll talk about it next week when it's done. Sunday, I guess, because I'll be running it tomorrow. But I hope it's a good addition. I hope I hope it's additive, right? I hope it doesn't feel like a waste of time or like a nothing. There is a slight clue they can get from it if they're looking for it, kind of thing. Other than that, I think it'll just, I hope it will reveal some themes and just kind of get people into maybe the investigative line. I think it's an interesting kind of story. It has that kind of vibe to me of not quite a fairy tale, a little bit of a fairy tale thing. This thing was done, and you can't, truth will out sort of thing. In this case, comes and it has to claim, there were two criminals. It has to two committers of the crime, even though they may have felt justified in their committing the crime. I think certainly, they did in a way, but I think she's now in this kind of despairing state where she maybe understands a little bit that she understands that there's a price to be paid, kind of thing, and just kind of let her be with it. Maybe I'll put that note. She now knows the price of her crime and kind of thing. And it'll definitely be interesting that if she feels that she'll be taken away or held culpable and is presented an opportunity, she will hurry into the granary and embrace all right. We'll see how this goes. I'll have more this afternoon, I hope. But I'm glad to have this fleshed out in a way that I think is definitely enough for me to run it. If I end up drawing something, I don't think I will, but if I draw something, I'll maybe post that somewhere. But cool. All right, folks. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. Wow, over 3 hours. 3 hours of hashing through things, but it was good. It was productive. Yeah. I'll hopefully see you later on the main channel. If you happen to be at ArcaneCon, I'll see you tomorrow. Other than that, folks, game on, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye now.